Okay, there's one last thing I want to show you how to draw, something that's organic. I made a video about drawing a tissue coming out of a tissue box. That's also an organic form. This is an organic form. I was looking for a pear, which is kind of has more shape to it, but all we have are avocados, and I will use an avocado. So you can kind of see that it's pear-shaped, just doesn't stand up on it. But how do you go about drawing something like this? It's the same thing. Whenever I teach this course, a lot of students just kind of forget everything I taught them. It goes out the window when they see an object like this. They're like, oh, I'll just draw. There's my avocado. It's like, no. You take the same approach, and it's actually easier, and you only have to do it once. And once you get the proportions set, all you do is put rounds in. It's really simple. This shouldn't take long. This is a quick video. So measure the height and the width. So right now I'm just going to measure the height because it's shorter than the width, and then I count how many times it's in the width. It counted 1.5 times. So the width counts 1.5 times. I'm sorry, the height counts 1.5 times into the width. All right, so the height. I'm just going to make a vertical line. Go from here to here. That's going to be my height, and I'm going to count this using my handy dandy thing here. Count. And then half that, which is about right here. Now, if you're off a hair on an avocado in organic form, it's not a big deal. The only organic form that's noticeable if you're off a hair is a human face, which we will do at the end of the semester. Draw your horizontal line. Horizontal line. All right. So you have, that thing lives inside of this. Another thing, whenever you're drawing an object like this in organic form, there's a central axis line. You have to think of this as straight lines, otherwise you can't measure. It's difficult to measure and you're just kind of guessing. You don't draw a curve in here yet. You're gonna find out where, right here, there's a point that touches the edge. Where is it? Is it halfway in? Is it more towards the end? It's more towards the end, but before we do that, I want to find the central axis line. So there's a central axis line that goes through here just like that. The pencil's almost the same color as the avocado, but it's not straight. It's more like an angle like that. Does that make sense? So if I were to slice this in half from your point of view, that's halfway. So that's the central axis line, that diagonal. So what I'm going to do is transition that diagonal to my drawing, and actually, it's going to do something like this. The reason I put this down here, because I was looking at the nose of the avocado, and it's definitely lower. It's not the midpoint, it's definitely lower. And I was looking at the butt of the avocado, and it's a little bit higher than the center point. And if you want to just give yourself a center line, so you have something to compare to, go for it. I might even lower this just a little bit because I think that butt is a little too high. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to find out where this high point is right here. Sorry, there's a high point right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from here, and I'm going to count how many times that is in the thing. So basically, sorry, I'm making you dizzy. You're going to measure from here, so, and you're going to count over that way. So 1, 2, 3. It almost counts 3 times in. It's a little short, so that means if I go about a third, it's a heavy third. So let's just see if this is a third. 2. It's not a third, but it's actually a heavy third, which I did by accident. but I'm gonna keep it. That's that high point. And then there seems to be another point right here that's kind of like another high point, but it seems to be about there. And there's, I'd say this is where the nose meets, but there seems to be a point right here that goes a little bit in, but up. Think of this like latitude, longitude lines. You're trying to find Hawaii on a map, and you have to, longitude lines are the ones that go vertical, long, and the latitude lines, because you cross the T's, are the ones that go sideways, east-west. So you're trying to like use north, south, east, west coordinates to find spots, and then you connect those marks, and then you round out. It's basically one of the most effective tricks of drawing I use every day. I apply is that kind of north, south, east, west, latitude, longitude line approach. So then there's a little spot here, which looks like it's about here. All right, I'm just gonna connect my points. This looks like it's right on underneath. Seems to be a spot here. All right, here we go. I'm not sure what that was there for. This one's a little shaky. Okay. So, in a nutshell, that's the avocado. That was unnecessary metaphor. That's the avocado. And now I can just kind of round it out. Now I can, this is the fun part of drawing, where you can just kind of look and draw, look and draw. But the more you do this, the more you cite and measure, your observational skills heighten. So you'll see these things pretty quickly, and then you just use measuring as a checking point. You're like, I don't think, that doesn't look right. I got to double check that. Or you speed up your process. Don't think like, oh, this takes the fun out of drawing for me. I don't want to go this approach. It's not an approach. It is something that really heightens your perception, your awareness. And if you practice over and over again, you'll be able to do this pretty quickly. So then at this point, now I can just start to say, hey, it's like these are rounds. Kind of goes here. Follows this line for a little bit, kind of. Hits the bottom for a while, kind of starts to come back up. Bends back out, actually. And to be honest, this is a really straight line here. Kind of does something like this. And that's an avocado. That's it. And if you want to give it, because this is a contour line drawing, if you want to give it some volume, you want to throw some ellipses in there, you can, but I would just leave it at that for now. Just make sure you have that there. Now, if you were ever to apply a skin to it, meaning value, tonal application, all you have to do is apply the tone. You don't have to worry about the drawing part of it. You've done that. The more I look at it though, it does make an indentation here, and then it kind of goes out. It rides this for a little bit, and then it kind of comes back in. So I made some edits here just to be a little more truthful to see what I see, because now I'm starting to look, I'm not generalizing anymore, now I'm being more specific. I'm starting to look at the subtleties that are happening. A lot of people look at that first, and that's derails the whole process. You start to look at the accessories, you start to look at the exterior, you start to look at the texture. Those things are seductive. You kind of fall into doing those first. You don't want to do this first. You generalize. Generalize meaning like, what's the overall height versus width? What are the sight lines? What's the central access point? And then from there, then you make your rounds. And then from there, then you can really start to look at the subtle characteristics unique to that form. That's how you end up with something similar to what you're drawing. Okay, see you later.